Okay, we're good. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our elementary virtual Meet the Teacher and Information Night. We are so happy that you could join us. We have so much information to share with you, and we are so excited to get school started on August 17th. So we will get the ball rolling. I want to start off by saying hello and introducing our who's who at the Texas Center for Arts and Academics. And we have Dr. Patricia Thompson, our interim president and chief executive officer.
Thank you, Dr. Jackson. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our virtual Meet the Teachers Night. I am Dr. Thompson. I have been your interim CEO for the past year. And tonight, your principal, Dr. Jackson, has put together an impressive virtual presentation that will soothe your worries about how your students will fare over the next many weeks as they begin school virtually. We are proud that through the hard work and commitment of the administration and the teachers and the staff at FWAFA, that we will begin school on time Monday, August 17th. So it may not be what we all had envisioned for our first day back, but Dr. Jackson and her team have put together an awesome curriculum plan. They have overcome many obstacles. They've had lots of starts and stops as we have navigated the ever-changing climate of the pandemic effects. If this was a marathon, and I'm sure it has felt like that for many, they all deserve gold medals. Most of our teachers and staff didn't have much of a summer vacation. They knew what they had to do to get us to next Monday, and they never hesitated, and they continue to inspire me. These next many weeks will be different, and we all acknowledge that. They may cause you stress and anxiety, and we understand. We all have stress and anxiety, but we want to assure you that we have this. We want you to know that we are here for you, your students, and we have your backs. And just remember that this is not forever. In the meantime, while the teachers are teaching virtually, we are working on finalizing our plans for when the students all come back in person. We will be ensuring that our schools comply with all of the health and safety guidelines set forth by the local, state, and federal health and education experts. Remember again that this will pass. So my father used to say these words to me when I was eating an ice cream cone: nothing lasts forever. He was right. That applies to us right now as well. So in the days and the months ahead, we will eventually transition back to being together in the same place once again. I promise you. It will be a celebration to end all celebrations, something we can all look forward to. So what will be especially important as we reflect on this time is how we all came together, united by one mission, and supporting one another, challenging our minds and our souls to move forward in a positive light. How we act during times of adversity is a testimony of our true spirit, and I know that we'll rise to the occasion. So let's all roll up our sleeves and together help to grow our students in the world of arts and academics. I want to thank you for all of you have done and continue to do to support our most precious students. I know that you all have been through a lot. So at this time, I would like to invite our Director of Community Programs, Ms. Shayna Ferraro, to talk to you about our after-school conservatory program.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I am so excited to be with you tonight. I welcome all of our returning families, and I am also thrilled to welcome all of our new families that I had a pleasure of meeting most of you during your audition process. And I am just excited for all of you to now come together and be the FWAFA family during this exciting school year. I want to thank Dr. Jackson for giving me just a moment tonight to talk about our wonderful after-school conservatory programs. This year we have 3 programs: the Texas Art Conservatory, Texas Dance Conservatory, and Texas Music Conservatory. All 3 of these programs offer after-school and weekend classes for any student in the community ages 3 through 19. Registration for our classes is now open, and we start all of our classes the week of August 24th. We will be starting all of our classes online, but they will all be taught live through a virtual platform, and the teachers are ready and prepared to help your students make their technical progress, as well as have that fun community bonding feel that our students crave for their after-school programming. We will be ready to transition back to in-person classes as soon as it's time, and the schedule will remain the same. So I encourage you to look at our offerings and get signed up. You can find out all about our classes when you visit artsacademics.org and then go to the Conservatories tab. Please feel free to reach out to me with any questions. My email address is all over that webpage. I look forward to seeing you in our after-school programs. And Dr. Jackson, again, thank you for giving me this time.
Can you hear me now? Hold on, let's see. Facebook people, can you comment? Can you hear me? Look, someone. I'm not muted. Okay, wait. Okay, they can hear me now. I'm sorry. Okay. All right, I'll start back over. Everybody can hear me now. All right. My name is Monica. I'm the marketing communications manager at TCAA. So what I was trying to say before is that all of you at FWAFA are able to reach out to me for several things. You can see the list on the screen, but I'll mention briefly the ones that would be most important to you. So my team, myself and Samantha Morales, our graphic designer, both work on the website. So things, if you're having trouble with like navigating or you see things that could be improved or updated, you can always reach out. And then the biggest thing that I think is the most exciting is that I give you opportunities to brag on your children, which we love doing because they are awesome. So we have the social media pages for that. We do have a FWAFA Facebook page. We also have a FWAFA dance page, FWAFA Instagram, Texas Boys Choir, Singing Girls of Texas, all of the conservatories. So they're ever growing, basically. And then we also have the lobby screen once we are back in the building. That is a big screen right in the lobby. And so that way I see people stopping every day, kind of looking in the morning or throughout the day when they're passing by. It feeds through a PowerPoint all day. And so I'm able to update that weekly with your children's accomplishments, pictures, any information of upcoming events. So I do work with the PTSO as well on getting information on there. The other thing that I work on monthly is our TCAA newsletter. That does include information for the schools. Updates, events. There is like a quick links at the bottom where you can find important information. And I do change that out to match up. So like the most recent one had all of the enrollment information. And then we also have our organization updates there as well, which are important because we are trying to foster a community family feel. We want everyone to know that TCAA is here to support you, that we have your back. And that most of all, we care about your children and we want them to be successful in our schools and outside of them. So we do promote things even outside of the school. I know I've shared performances that they're doing in the community in the past, college announcements, things like that. So anything is really welcome, and I do take those daily. All you have to do is email me at monica.sheehan@artsacademics.org. I put it in the comments, but I will do it throughout because you can also send me questions that you have from tonight, and I'll condense those all into one place to give to Dr. Jackson after this event. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Monica. All right, well, let's get the ball rolling here with our who's who at Fort Worth Academy of Fine Arts. So everybody knows me. I'm Dr. Jennifer Jackson, and I'm the very proud principal at Fort Worth Academy of Fine Arts. And then I'm joined here this evening with my right-hand man, Mr. Mendez. He is our associate principal, and he oversees technology and textbooks and attendance recovery and student discipline and all those kinds of fun things. So thank you, Mr. Mendez, for being here with us tonight. And then I'm also joined by my other right hand, Miss Crystal Sisk. She is our elementary counselor, as well as our Section 504 coordinator. And then I have like more than one right arm. I have many. And then I also have our my other right hand arm is Ketty Van Dyke. She is our middle school and high school counselor, as well as our senior sponsor. Then I wanted to introduce some new faces to our family that are going to be familiar faces to you in the upcoming weeks. We have Miss Shatara Warner. She is our new campus secretary. So she is the one answering the phone and helping you at the door. And then we also have Dara Sinware. He is our data controller and our district PEMS coordinator. So he's the one handling grades and grade reporting and all that good stuff. So I always call Fort Worth Academy of Fine Arts the little gem of the Fort Worth arts community, and we are making magic every day. And so this is the time of the program where I'm going to introduce virtually our teachers in our Meet the Teacher night. So all of our teachers have created introduction videos of themselves that are like little mini commercials of their classes. So we invite you to go to our website and go to administration and faculty, and then click on each of your teacher's pictures, and you can watch his or her introduction video. So after we get off of our call tonight, I invite you to go and virtually meet your teachers. And then I also just wanted to take a moment to talk to parents, because I know as a parent myself that making the decision about where you send your kiddos to school and the decisions you make around their education, to me, are probably the most important and critical decisions that you can make as a parent. And I just want you to feel rest assured that you have made the right decision by choosing Fort Worth Academy of Fine Arts. I can't think of a better place I always tell our teachers, in the state and nation and planet to send your kids. I am a true believer in the power of arts education because of so many benefits that it brings to our kids, things like self-confidence and having an understanding of yourself, having excellent communication skills and cognition, and the arts truly builds that growth mindset. And then I always love to share with parents a very important study, and I'm going to be sending out these slides after this presentation, but I invite you to go and read this study, because it basically says that students who study the arts score 100 to 150 points higher on their SATs than students who do not study the arts. So especially those parents, those elementary parents that are joining us in third grade, I always say it starts from the start. And so you have made the right decision in your child's educational path by joining us. Some of the signature practices that I want to mention to our new families, we have several anchors that we all use in all of our classrooms, and that it promotes social emotional well-being, and that is our community circles, our respect agreements, and our tribe agreements. So when your students come home talking about these things, you'll understand that community circles is one way that our teachers build classroom community and rapport with students. Our students definitely have a voice and decision making when it comes to how the classroom is going to operate and how they are going to treat one another. And then our tribes agreements are just our spoken guidelines of how we are going to interact with one another. So you'll be hearing those words coming up very soon. Then I want to throw out right in the beginning, Howdy Week. Howdy Week is another one of our signature practices that we have every year. We'll be having 2 of them this year. The first one will be virtual. And so these are the different dress up days. We have Manic Monday, 'Tis the Season Tuesday, Work from Home Wednesday, Throwback Thursday, and Flapjack Friday. And for more details on this, you can see my principal letter that came out last week, but it will keep showing up in that principal letter until we get to Howdy Week. Then I also want to encourage all of our new families and students, and even our returning students, to get involved. It's a whole planet and universe of activities going on at our school. It's so unique in that we are an elementary school, we're a middle school, we're a high school, and then we're a full-fledged fine arts academy. So we have so many different ways to get involved. And like some of the other fine arts academies in the Metroplex, our students are not trapped into one particular art. They can soar and thrive in any art they choose. They can dabble here and there in different classes. And so I think that's a great opportunity for students to find their voice in the arts. And then we also have lots of different clubs and organizations for students to join. So these are some things that our little ones can look forward to. And then this slide just lists some of the things that we do throughout the year. It's a busy place. We have things called Howdy Doodahs, or just doodahs in general. And doodahs are when the younger students are invited to stay after school, and the big kids kind of get to organize some festivities for them. And I know that there are some virtual things in store. So that's what a doodah is. You'll learn that word coming to FWAFA. So I want to spend a little bit of time talking about elementary schedules. Elementary schedules do not look like any other elementary schedule at a traditional elementary school. We do not have things called specials. We have things called fine arts. And also, our students do not have home rooms. So that's a little bit different than your typical comprehensive traditional elementary school. So you kind of have to make that mind shift when you come to FWAFA, that students don't have homerooms, and we definitely call our fine arts fine arts. So this next part, I'm going to get really into the nitty gritty of what school is going to look like starting August 17th. And I really want to focus on at home, 100% at home learning for right now, because there's so many things to know, and for us to be able to get up on that horse and gallop starting on Monday, that I just want to focus on that topic for tonight. And then as we get closer to our transition to in-school learning, we'll have another meeting like this so that we can go totally through the details of what that is going to look like. So for tonight, it's just all about 100% at home learning. And 2 words that we have been using a lot this week as teachers came back for their professional development week is resilience and grace. And that's kind of going to be our theme for the year. And just to put things in perspective for everyone, in a matter of 6 days, basically, the teachers at Fort Worth Academy of Fine Arts will launch 330 different Google Classrooms in 10 grade levels and in 4 fine arts areas. So when I say that we are building the rocket ship as we fly it, we certainly are. And boy, we have some rocket scientists at Fort Worth Academy of Fine Arts. We will also deploy 650 student Google accounts, and we'll have 60 teachers and staff who will lovingly nurture 650 fabulous FWAFA students. So I just wanted you to have that data to understand the infrastructure that is being put into place in merely a matter of days. So our 100% at-home learning model is a combination of synchronous learning and asynchronous learning. Those are two new vocabulary words for all of us. So synchronous learning is similar to on-campus learning in that it's two-way, real-time instruction. So the teacher and the student are interacting together at the same time. And then there's asynchronous instruction. That instruction is self-paced and it's completed on the student's own time and independently. So our model is an asynchronous model with synchronous time that's been scheduled into each day. So although it's an asynchronous model, students will be working self-paced. There'll be times in the day when they will have structured lessons from their teachers. So you might be scratching your head right now and saying, well, what's my student's day going to look like? Students will synchronously follow an abbreviated version of their in-school schedule. And after their synchronous learning time, we have what we're calling flex academic and fine arts time so that we can really tailor instruction to individual student needs. So here's an example of a 3rd and 4th grade schedule. So it's just an example. Not everybody's schedule is going to look just like this, but I wanted to give you a feel for what a student's day would be like in the synchronous and then the asynchronous environment. So starting at 9 o'clock, students will meet for 25 minutes with their first period class. And for this student, it just happens to be choir. And then they will progress through their day in 25-minute increments in synchronous learning on Zoom. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. And then in the afternoon from 1:30 to 3:30, that's the asynchronous flex time. So depending on the student, they may be finished for the day. Or depending on the student, they may have a few math problems to work on. Or they may be meeting with a teacher in a small group, maybe to get some tutoring, maybe some one-on-one. Maybe they're in Children's Choir of Texas and they have a rehearsal. So we've put that block of time at the end of the day so that we can really customize instruction based on the student's needs. And then here's an example of a 5th and 6th grade schedule. So once again, it's the same 25-minute little chunks of synchronous instruction. And then at 2:30 is when we have the flex time. So how do I understand my students' fine arts rotation? I've been here, I guess, 7 months, and I think I almost have it. So I'm going to walk you through it. So we have something at FWAFA called red days and blue days. On your student's schedule that came through your parent portal today, and we'll talk about some parent portal troubleshooting in just a minute. But if you were able to get your student's schedule, you will see on the far left-hand column where it says period, P-E-R, you'll see the class periods. So for example, that student I was talking about has first period choir. Then look on the 3rd column where it says S-E-C. There's a 1 and I've underlined it in red, and there's a 2 and I've underlined it in blue. So the 1 means it's a red day and the 2 means it's a blue day. So this student for 2nd period has either art or theater. So if it's a 1, it's a red day and it's art. And that is on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And if it's a 2, that means it's a blue day. And that's theater, and it's on Wednesdays and Fridays. third period, they have dance or PE. If there's a 1, it's a red day and it's dance, and that's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If it's a 2, that's a blue day, PE, Wednesdays and Fridays. And so here's a little table. You might want to make yourself one of these. I actually have one that I'm going to share with you so that you can see. On Tuesdays, this student during first period would have choir every single day. And then on second period, they would either have theater or art, depending on if it's a Tuesday, Thursday, or a Wednesday, Friday. Or a third period, they would have PE on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then dance on Wednesdays and Fridays. What I love about this schedule is that students are completely exposed to the fine arts for a big chunk of time in their elementary life. And as we know from what the studies say, that reaps benefits to them as they get older. So this is something that all students will receive. You'll be getting it tonight, but it's a student schedule organizer. And so just like I just made a little chart, there's one of these for each student. So when you click on the link, it's going to force you to make a copy. And then you'll just be able to write your schedule in, and there's a little spot for your Zoom link also. So everybody will be receiving this just to help you stay organized and understand that red day, blue day. So another question you might have is, my student is in CCT, when will rehearsals be? Well, you will receive more information from Mr. Hill, our young director of distinction, and half of students will be meeting on Tuesdays and the other half will be meeting on Wednesdays, everybody together on Fridays from 2:30 to 3:15. That's in that academic and art flex time. You might also be wondering if teachers are going to be holding Zooms every day. And the answer to that is a highly likely yes. There may be times, however, that instead of meeting on Zoom, students might have a video to watch or an assignment to complete, but we're holding that space in the student's schedule to have Zoom meetings. And just to put things in perspective, we have to remember, like I said earlier, that we're an elementary, a middle, and a high school. So a third grader's day on Zoom is going to look a little bit different than, say, an 11th grader's day on Zoom, who may be taking, all college prep classes and are rehearsing for a show. So the times, those schedules, you'll just follow your schedule, but sometimes you'll meet and sometimes you won't, just depending on the class. Another question you might be having is, what will students be doing on a Zoom? Well, I can guarantee you it won't be what we call in the education world sit and get. Teachers are coming up with all kinds of imaginative and creative ways to keep students engaged in learning. They might be watching a teacher demonstration or listening to a mini lesson. There's great capabilities for students to work in cooperative groups or to have a discussion. So our teachers are really thinking up some neat things to do. So I want to talk a little bit about the attendance policy that is in our 100% at-home learning plan. So how does a student show us that they are present? And the one way that students can show that they are present is by going into their Google Classroom and responding to the attendance check question. And they do that every single day. The question will open at 8 o'clock in the morning and it will close at 11:59 each night. Elementary students will demonstrate being present to their first academic rotation teacher. And I'm going to show you in just a minute what that attendance check question looks like and where to access it. But that is the way that your student will be counted present, is by answering that attendance check question. Teachers will be communicating with students and with families continually through Google Classroom. So in the past, teachers have used Jupiter Ed. Jupiter Ed this year will be reserved just for all school announcements. So the principal newsletter will come from that. Club sponsors will send information through Jupiter Ed, but your primary source of information and communication will be in your students' Google Classroom. Another question you may have might be, where do I look for grades? So students will have a minimum of 12 grades each 6 weeks, and they will receive feedback on those assignments that they do in Google Classroom. But the official record for grades is Parent Portal Ascender. That is where you will go to see your students' class averages. So I want us all to take a big stretch break here. Here is our first day procedures. So on August 17th, students will log in to Google using their brand new FWAFA at artsacademics.org student login. So the login is their first name with a period, and then their last name at artsacademics.org. And the temporary password is Fine Arts 2020 with a capital F. So on August 17th, on Monday, you will go to Google and you will just type in your student's first name, a period, their last name at artsacademics.org. My student example here is called New Student. So it's just new.student@academics.org. And you'll use this temporary password, Fine Arts 2020 with a capital F. That's immediately going to take you to a screen where you will set a brand new password. And if you're anything like me, you better write it in a couple of places so that you have it. That will be your new password. In order for any of the curriculum materials to work, your student has to be logged in with the @Arts Academics student login. They can't use a personal email or your email. It just won't work. It has to be their Arts Academics email. Here's a little bit of information about the naming convention that was used. So if your student has a hyphen in their name, the hyphen is still there. So you see in that example. And if they have more than one last name, then it's just that other last name with another period. So just add that other period. So after you go through those steps and change your password, Google is going to ask you to log in again. So you will need to sign in and use that new password. Then here's where the fun starts. You will click on, I'm sorry, I'm moving things around here. You will click on these little dots up at the top, and then you'll pull it down to where you see Classroom, that icon. And then that's going to take you to the Google Classroom. On August 17th, on that day, when you do those steps, this is what your students' Google Classroom will look like, except that there will be 8 classes. And all your student has to do is click join. So the Google account will be pre-populated with the classes. And when you click join, and then you click on the class, it will take you into the class. Now, can we just give a big round of applause to Miss Wiggins here? Is her classroom just adorable or what? She made her Google Classroom look just like her in-school classroom. So if you're at home learning, you're not missing anything. It looks just the same. So when you get into the classroom, you'll click on the classwork tab. To me, that's the most important tab. That's where all the juicy stuff is. So you'll click on that classwork tab. Then the first thing that you're going to see in every single student's classroom is his or her Zoom link information. So it will be right there up at the top in every single class. So it's easy to find. The next thing that's going to be super easy to find, because it is super important, is the attendance check question. So every day, in order to be marked and considered present, a student must answer the attendance check question. And it's just going to be right there at the top. Then another important part that I want to show you is the View Work button. And if you go to View Work, you will see that this student has 2 assignments. So it keeps everything really organized. Then you can also see the assignment due dates in the Google Calendar. So if you click on Calendar, you will see that those 2 assignments, the attendance check question is due on the 17th, because remember, it closes at 11:59 p.m. And then also Miss Wiggins has another assignment that's going to be due on Friday. So that was just the basic navigation of Google Classroom. We have lots of videos and lots of tutorials that have been made to share with you so that you feel just as comfortable in the Google Classroom as you would in your physical FWAFA classroom. And on Monday, you're going to spend some time just acclimating yourself to that new environment. So in my mind, as Principal Jackson, what does a great first day look like? Well, it looks like some rested kids. So this is the time that you need to start getting to bed on time. Hate to break it to you. It's time to get that 8 to 10 hours of sleep, because you got to get up on time because school is starting. On Monday also, it would be a great day if you get your Google student account created and you join all of your Google Classrooms that will be pre-populated in your Google Classroom container. And you answer the attendance check question and you start reviewing for the course guides. You start reviewing the course guides. On Monday, August 17th, there will be no Zooms. Our number one goal is for everyone to be able to find and join their Google Classroom. That will be a fantastic, great day at FWAFA. Some people have asked us about the dress code. For now, just keep it casual and comfortable. Let's change out of our PJs so that we are ready to learn. Also, with the enrollment forms are super important. In the past, before students could start school, they had to have a notarized medical form. Well, we are waiving that requirement for now. The medical form isn't due until the student returns to in-school learning and is going on a school trip. We do, however, need the media release form and the technology agreement form and the free and reduced lunch form. And all of those are found on our website in the resources tab. Next, I want to give a big, huge shout out to our PTSO, and I really want to encourage you to join our PTSO. We have an active and engaged PTSO that helps us with so many things on our campus. This year, they raised over $30,000, and it all went straight to things like technology, to literacy, field trips, and teacher classroom grants. As a principal, I think it's very important for all that hard work and fundraising of the PTSO to go to all the children and touch all the students in some way. So I'm always happy to see when those funds are spent on technology and literacy and field trips. So if you're looking for to get involved and just be around a great bunch of people, then I really encourage you to join PTSO. So I want to spend a few minutes troubleshooting a sender. So today we were super excited that the schedules for August 17th got pushed out. Last night was a big night for us. Our Texas student management system underwent some maintenance. It went to sleep for a while. And when it woke up, we had brand new student schedules. However, there's a little bit of troubleshooting that has to go on with Parent Portal Ascender. It's still Parent Portal. So if you're a returning parent, it is still the same Parent Portal that you're used to. It just looks different. It's actually, to me, prettier. So you have a prettier interface. But it does not make friends with any other internet browser besides Chrome. I experienced it myself last night, but when I switched to Chrome, it worked like a dream. So try changing your browser to Chrome. Also, as a school, we don't have any functionality to help you retrieve a username or a password. All of that is done through Parent Portal. So you either go to the website link or you go to the phone app and you can reset your password and you can recover your username. If you try to log in too many times unsuccessfully using that other browser, then you will get locked out. But all you have to do is wait a few minutes, about 30 minutes, and go back in and it will work. So those are my troubleshooting tips for you with Parent Portal Ascender. And as soon as you log in successfully, your student's schedule is just right there. Easy to find. So we have some important dates coming up. Today was a big day for us with our electronic schedule distribution. August 17th is going to be a great day for us, our first day of school. And why don't we just do this right now? We have a little bit of time. Type in the comments what a great day of school is going to look like to Dr. Jackson. What's going to happen on that day? I can't see the comments, so Monica, you may have to tell me if people are getting it right. What's the number one thing they need to do? I know we have super smart students. Do I need to give them a hint?
Somebody said
it starts with a G.
Lots of excitement.
Oh, Monica, you're on mute.
Gosh darn it. Okay. Lots of excitement is what one person said.
Lots of excitement.
Well,
you're going to log into Google.
Well rested. Nobody said
That's
Google.
good. Yes.
Oh, wait. Somebody said Google. There is Google.
You're going to log into your Google account using your @Arts Academics login.
Resilience and grace.
Love it. You're going to log in with that Arts Academics login. That's the first thing you're going to do on Monday. You're going to navigate to Google Classroom. You're going to join your classes. It's just like walking down the hall with your schedule, trying to find your classroom. It's the same thing, but it's going to be on your laptop. You're just going to click join and your classes will be there. And then the most important thing after creating your login and joining your classes is going in and answering that attendance check question. That's going to be your first day of school this year. After the first day of school on August 19th, we're having the PTSO uniform resale, and we'll be having the material and textbook pickup as from 6 to 7:30. And I want to sincerely apologize to everyone for having to move that date, but we realized that we needed to practice that word grace and give a little bit of time so teachers had time to think about exactly the materials that you needed so that we wouldn't have to have another one and ask you to come back to campus. So we're going to have our ducks in a row next Wednesday. So I appreciate that flexibility. Also, when you're in your at-home learning, you will need minimal school supplies. You just need some paper and a pen or a pencil. And we are going to just hold on to those school supplies that were purchased through the TBC fundraiser, and we will distribute those later on when we come back to in-school learning. More details on that later. Also, families received last week a technology request form through Jupiter Ed. If you requested a device, you were emailed with a date and time to come and pick up that technology. If you have any questions about that, you can email Mr. Mendez at omar.mendez@fwafa.org. Then, the second week of school, August 24th through 28th, is Howdy Week. Be sure to show up, and we will send all those cute pictures to Miss Monica, and she'll get those posted. And then I'm super excited about our very first performance of the year, and it's the student choreography concert. And this concert is open to any student at FWAFA to choreograph their own dance. And as long as they do the choreography and a FWAFA student performs in it. And it's going to be in a virtual environment, and it's going to be lovely. And I cannot wait to see it. And that brings me to what I was also going to say at the beginning, is that our teachers here are the most creative on the planet. And although school is going to look a little different, and we're starting off 100% online learning, they're not the type of teachers that are going to take a square peg and try to fit it in a round hole. Our fine arts teachers have reconceptualized and reimagined all of the different performances, and they are going to be phenomenal. They are taking, just like great artists do, taking the constraints or the boundaries, and they are problem solving it, and you are going to have a great time not only spectating these beautiful performances, but also producing these beautiful performances. So I'm super excited about what our performance series will look like this year. And then last, but certainly not least at all, if you need some technical assistance, especially on Monday, August 17th, be sure to just send us an email at help@fwafa.org. You just have to send it one time. We've set up like a help desk where we have several people have their eyes on that email and looking at it continually. So we will get a quick answer to you as soon as we can. So I will end with the way I began and just say welcome to FWAFA. It's the little gem of the Fort Worth arts community. And we definitely make magic every day. And we are so excited, students, to be making magic with you. And parents, we are so excited to be joining you in the wonderful, creative, educational journey of your student.